It is easy to feel overwhelmed by the stories that dominate the day. Welcome to 10 Better Minutes, a podcast that shares recent real-world stories with balance and quiet perspective. This is not about ignoring difficulties, but about noticing the steady, less visible parts of life. I am Ian Rhodes, your host, and I appreciate you joining me for a few moments. Today's stories offer a chance to see beyond the noise and consider some of the quieter things happening around us. We will begin with a story about two sisters in Gaza who found a way to transform rubble from their damaged home into building blocks others can use. Two sisters in Gaza, Tala, and Faro were 16 and 14 when their home was bombed. In the days that followed, they were sheltering in a tent, surrounded by destruction and that heavy question of what rebuilding could realistically look like. During a call, they described how their first spark came from something familiar and steady, a lesson from Tala's technology textbook. The day after the bombing, they read about making blocks from stone, and they began to wonder if that idea could be adapted for the rubble around them. Together with their mother, they created Build Hope Palestine, a method for making reusable building blocks from broken concrete. Their mix is designed to be practical. About 80% recycled rubble, blended with clay, ash, and glass powder. They even tested the process using models, comparing timelines for 2 days and 5 days, so the method could be taught, repeated, and improved. What made their work spread was not just the science, but the invitation it offered their community. Their project became the Earth Prize Middle East regional winner, and they received thousands of messages from people who said the sisters had made them feel seen and hopeful. Now the next step is workshops. If they have the money, they plan to teach other young people how to produce the blocks and build together, turning an unbearable pause into something people can actually use. It is easy to think about a stadium as something that gets loud, gets messy, and then gets cleared away later. But after the Netherlands versus Japan match in Dallas on June 14th, it turned into a different kind of moment. The game ended 2-2 with Virgil van Dijk scoring for the Netherlands and Daichi Kamada finding the net for Japan. Still, the most lasting image came right after the final whistle. Hundreds of Japanese traveling fans brought trash bags and cleaned their section, reaching into the seats to pick up cups, wrappers, and other litter. Then, when the Japan national team stepped out of the locker room, they left it spotless, the kind of care that makes the space feel respected, not just used. You could almost miss it if you were only watching the scoreboard, but it is the small routines that say something deeper. Nina Shimaguchi from the Japan-American Society of Dallas-Fort Worth noted that this reflects habits shaped by the education system, a belief that good manners are part of being a community, even in a place as temporary and crowded as a game day venue. And that is the hope to carry with you. When people expect each other to act with respect, it becomes easier to do the right thing together without being asked. Sometimes it helps to remember that courage can be ordinary, and it shows up when someone chooses to act before thinking too long. Jordan Matthew worked at Elmer's Island Refuge near Grand Isle in Louisiana. After dropping off visitors from Oklahoma, he noticed people waving him down. Out near Caminata Pass, a young boy had become trapped in a powerful rip current. 2 women tried to help, and they were pulled in too. None of the 3 could swim, and the water was rough enough that hesitation could have meant losing them. Matthew did not have formal lifeguard training, but he ran into the dangerous water anyway. He reached the boy first and guided him toward shore. Then he focused on the first woman, helping her back safely. After that, he swam to the 3rd woman farther out, grabbed hold of her and carried her over his shoulder for part of the rescue. All of it happened quickly, and in the end, all 3 made it back to shore before emergency responders arrived, shaken but alive. What stays with you is how trust in people feels in moments like that. One person decides to step forward, and suddenly the chances line up. Later, the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries thanked him, and even his family invited him to dinner, like their whole community wanted him to feel what that choice had meant. After a major life change, it is easy to wonder what your world will look like next. This story answers that question with movement, community, and a room where women with disabilities can finally feel fully seen. Priya Sharma became a wheelchair user after a road accident in September of 2018, and for a while daily life asked her new questions. Instead of waiting for opportunity to find her, she turned to dance as a way to rebuild rhythm and confidence. In 2024, she founded Dance with Wheels, starting with just 3 or 4 women and meeting mostly online through Google Meet and Zoom. Those weekly sessions grew into something much larger, connecting more than 45 women and girls with disabilities across 16 Indian states. Importantly, the performers at the center were not selected by competition. They came from the community itself, step by step, week by week, until practice became belonging. By winter of 2025, 9 women from Dance with Wheels took the stage in Jaipur for Astitva 2025 before an audience of more than 350 people. Months of virtual practice helped them learn together. Then, intensive in-person rehearsals brought the choreography to life while they adapted routines to different needs and abilities. Some had hesitated to join social spaces, but the training gave them a safe place to try. And on stage, they were not just participants, they were celebrated. That is the quiet magic here. When people create welcoming spaces, confidence becomes something you can learn, share, and carry back into everyday life. There is something quietly powerful about young people deciding that everyday healthcare should not be priced out of reach. This story from Pakistan starts in a courtroom, but it really ends up in classrooms and workplaces. Pakistan announced it plans to abolish the sales tax on sanitary towels and related period items, following a legal challenge brought by 2 young lawyers, Manur Omer and Ahsan Jahangir Khan. The case sought 0 rating for these products, and it comes at a time when cost barriers already steer many women away from commercial options. Locally made period products can face an 18% sales tax, and imported ones can also carry an additional 25% customs tax. UN. Women noted that the change could help women stay in work and support girls staying in school. Even with this announcement, advocates say the work is not finished. Mawari Justice Executive Director Bushra Manur said the decision helps, but safe products can still be unaffordable for vulnerable women, especially where other charges remain. She also pointed out that the government will remove an 18% sales tax on contraceptives, which feels like the same principle applied more broadly. What I like about this is the hope inside it. Not the kind that pretends everything is solved, but the kind that says a system can be nudged, and then nudged again, until dignity is more accessible for more people. As always, I have a practical little tip for you, aimed at helping your mind reset and making room for a little more ease in your day. If stress has been hanging around and you find yourself reaching for another screen, today's tip is about switching that impulse to movement instead. Here is the gentle shift. When you notice your body tightening or your thoughts looping, do not add more input. Pick one small action that moves you forward in a real way. Stand up and roll your shoulders back. Take a slow walk to the next room and back. If you can, step outside for 1 minute and feel the air on your skin. Or try a simple stretch at your desk, lengthening your neck and opening your chest. The goal is not to work out. The goal is to give your nervous system a clear message. We are safe enough to transition. Movement helps discharge some of that built-up pressure, and it interrupts the constant scrolling that keeps you mentally stuck. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Move your body on purpose, then return to what you were doing with a calmer attention. You do not have to solve everything right now. Just reset first. All right, friends, that is the end of this episode of 10 Better Minutes. I hope it landed the way it was meant to, with a calmer kind of perspective, where the point is not that everything is perfect, But that kindness and decency and ordinary goodness are still here, happening all the time even when the noise tries to drown it out. If you want a few more steady moments like this, please follow or subscribe. New episodes are posted every day, so you can come back to fresh, positive news when you need it. And if you have a link to a good news story or even something positive from your own area that more people should see, leave it in the comments. I read them, and I love sharing what you all find. This is Ian Rhodes with 10 Better Minutes. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.